is Sarah Snell Cooke. I am your host here at the Credit Union Connection, as you know, and I am surrounded today by a bunch of credit union and financial services experts. We have below me, looks like, is Emily Osborne, the Cornerstone Advisors consultant. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely. Excited to hear what you have to say. Maura Horn, who's the VP of Learning and Development.
Hi,
Welcome.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
You as well, yeah. And last but not least, we have Dustin Montoya, who's the CTO at Elevations Credit Union. I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Maura is also at Elevations Credit Union. But Dustin, why don't you take it away? Give us a little more background on yourself and Elevations.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Sarah. It's great to be here. As you said, I'm Dustin Montoya, Chief Technology Officer of Elevations Credit Union. And I think I'm here because I'm the executive sponsor of our AI and automation initiative.
Fun stuff, definitely fun stuff. And finally, Ukrainians are, I feel like the last year and a half was kind of learning and now it's doing. We're going to get some traction in Elevations, of course, always one of the ones toward the forefront there. Maura, you go ahead and introduce yourself further.
Yeah, as you said, I oversee learning and development, which also includes knowledge management. Recently, we just added internal communications, among other things. And I am working alongside of Dustin to really get AI and automation adoption happening inside of Elevations.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's definitely not just a tech thing, it's a people thing.
It's adoption.
Yes. And Emily?
Yeah, I'm with Cornerstone Advisors. I'm a consultant here. I'm on our strategy and execution team. So really, driving research around AI, kind of getting insights into what, institutions like Elevations, like other institutions are doing around AI.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, so now that we know who's who, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Emily. Throw it back to you. What is the state of AI in credit unions?
Yeah, for sure. So AI adoption in credit unions has really shifted towards kind of, from that experimental phase to really a more tangible deployment. I think around 2021, about 18% of community FIs had chatbots, and generative AI wasn't really even on the radar. But, by 2025, we're at 1/3 have deployed chatbots, and about a quarter are even using generative AI tools. So that being said, I think the scope is still pretty narrow. For the most part, deployment is on that frontline productivity and customer service aspect, and not really deeply embedded into other business functions. But this is really changing as institutions really recognize potential and operational efficiency, opportunities in other areas.
Yeah, definitely an area of interest for many of the credit union executives I talk with is the efficiency that AI can bring in automation. So Dustin, why did you begin implementing AI and what are your objectives?
Wow, why did we begin implementing AI? Well, I'd say we've been using AI for some years. It's kind of embedded in some of the platforms that we've
Right.
had. But there was really a catalyst in November of 2022 called ChatGPT, open to the public. And I think that accelerated a lot of people's adoption of AI. It certainly did for us. So we already had an automation initiative going on at the time. And we just added AI as another tool set because it was becoming more available. It was more advanced and it's getting better all the time. So that's kind of why we adopted it. And it wasn't more so much about adopting it, was accelerating the adoption. And then the objectives that we had sought, early on, we introduced an AI strategy. And it was really on the offensive side and the defensive side. On the offensive side, we have two primary objectives. The first one, like Emily said, it's really around workforce productivity, operational efficiencies. And the second one really is about improving the member experience. On the defensive side, we have a third objective, and that's really about protecting the credit union from the nefarious uses of AI. And that includes protecting member data. It includes making sure that we're within compliance. So that's really our offense and defense strategy and objectives.
Yeah, AI on the like you said, the defensive side with combating fraud. We need to fight fire with fire, so to speak, because the bad guys are using it too. And so how did you begin implementing it, and what departments? I don't know who should, Dustin, is
Yeah,
that your question? All
yeah.
righty.
I'm happy to take that on. So for us, it was really important to get that defensive side established. And that really came down to establishing an AI governance team. The AI governance team is really made up of IT, information security, vendor management. We have legal and compliance on there. We bring other stakeholders in as we need to, but those folks, in short order, were able to put some AI standards in place to create an acceptable use policy that all of our staff had to accept. We're also able to establish some tools for monitoring AI usage so we can actually see what's coming through our network. And those same tools allow us to block certain things that we don't like and allow certain things that we do like. And the things that we like are reviewed and approved through a risk assessment process within our AI governance practice. That's how we started.
Mm.
We quickly evolved into getting the right folks from representatives from different departments together to dream up use cases. And those use cases, things that are happening now in departments, all departments right now have access to Copilot chat. Some departments have access to things like Copilot for Office 365. Marketing is using AI tools to generate graphics that show up in marketing campaigns and advertising materials. They've actually created a mascot that we've blown up into life size and introduced to our branches that the mascot's name is Freddie the Yeti. And we've actually created a costume recently. And this is designs that have happened in seconds and they've materialized before our eyes. Lending department, they're focused on automated loan decisioning. We have a fraud department that's dealing with fraud prevention, as you might expect, but also know your customer technology. We have our digital team focused on things like member-facing chat. That's something that Emily brought up. And last but not least, our branches, our contact center, back office was focused more on internal-facing chat capabilities that are aligned with our knowledge base. And Maura, you might have some things to add to that use case because that's a big win for us.
Yeah. So we implemented an AI knowledge assistant for our internal staff to find answers quickly from our SharePoint knowledge base. And I'll tell you, our team had dreamt of this for a while, and the tech finally caught up to our needs. We started looking at it in 2023. We did some pilot testing in early 2024, and we rolled out to the whole org in mid 2024. And it was one of those implementations that just went viral. I mean, it went
I was going to ask,
crazy.
how are
It was,
people taking it? Really?
yeah, I mean, they're using it on a regular basis. I had put together a business case, and we look back on it every quarter and say, did we achieve what we were trying to achieve? And we have. It's gone viral, and I think it gave people a little bit more confidence to lean in on other AI capabilities because it was connected back to our knowledge base, their procedures, everything that was documented for them to do their jobs. They were always searching for things, and this gave them quick access to it. And
That's awesome.
so we've done that. And I think, other implementations like Copilot Chat, as Dustin brought up, were really enabled through internal training. So we did some prompt engineering training and some reinforcement on our data protection and some of those human skills. So yeah, we've had
Don't put
some,
member numbers into the chat.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So, yeah, what is the important, I guess, what's an important place to start when you're working with the staff and training them on using all these things?
Yeah, some of those things are going to be, we want to start with the protection, as Dustin said, the defensive strategy of the organization. Security is essential in everything that we do. And so, like we started our practice with governance, we do the same things in place for the training. And so we've taught people how to keep sensitive information private. And we require people to take some courses on safely using AI. And at the same time, we're balancing the encouraging the use and helping them understand it. But I think we almost always lead with protection.
Mm-hmm. And so, Emily, I'm going to go on back to you. So, when you're talking with credit union leaders, what types of questions are you getting about AI?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get a whole spectrum of questions, but most commonly, many are asking, where do I even start? How do I know if it's even working? How can I, avoid risk and still innovate, still kind of be one of those front runners here? But you're really just navigating kind of hype versus reality and just trying to prioritize those use cases. One of the biggest worries is about data quality, member privacy,
Mhm.
governance, but really also understanding a role that AI could play in compliance and where it kind of complements human judgment.
Hmm. Any concerns about jobs? Anybody can jump on that one, I guess.
I would say no. I mean, I don't think AI is at a point where it would be replacing jobs. I think it's a great tool to enhance, the knowledge and enhance the capabilities of your staff. But I don't think it's at a point where people should really be worrying about, losing their jobs to AI yet.
Hmm. Yeah, anybody writes something with AI, I'm like, I know, I
Yeah.
can tell. Um, so what sort of results have you all achieved at Elevations? Dustin, I'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. We're all about results. We're big into performance excellence. What that means for us is we have KPIs for everything, but we certainly put KPIs in place for our AI journey and some of the measurements we started taking this year. So I'd say in that workforce productivity realm, we look at hours saved and across all of the AI that we deploy. And we set some pretty ambitious goals at the beginning of the year that weren't sure if we were going to be able to hit by come December. Well, so it looks like we've already exceeded those by 2 times, and we're only mid year. Part of it is we started to measure it, and we know what we're measuring, but we've really had an effective release of some of these technologies, and a lot of it is due to Maura and her teams helping us from a learning and development point of view and not just a
Right.
technology point of view. So that's a big one. On our member facing chat capability, we've doubled our chat capacity by using some of these technologies and all while repurposing one of our full-time employees. So that's
Hmm.
been a great story. We've also saved 3,000 hours annually through that process. On the member experience side, it's a little bit harder to quantify. Sometimes it's a little qualitative, if you will. But I mean, if you look at the member's point of view, the member experience they're getting, they get 24/7 access to chat, and they could make basic inquiries and get simple answers after hours.
Hmm.
15% of our chats come after hours. So that's a new member experience enhancement that we see results on. And then we're
Hmm.
getting a lot more loans processed faster.
Hmm.
So those are some of the results that we see, and I think we are seeing and exceeding what we expected. Maura, you might
Awesome.
have some different statistics around things around L&D and other areas.
Yeah, I would say from you know, it does impact the member experience, but on the employee experience side, because we gave them an internal Gen AI tool for knowledge, we're estimating they're saving a couple hours a week in searching what they used to do. And so we've also seen a huge reduction in the handling time of the calls with members because they have easy access to
Right.
answers. So they've reduced their call handling time by 20 seconds over the last 3 quarters. And so what we're really getting to see, though, is the commentary by their managers who are reviewing the calls is it allows a more value add conversation to happen.
Right.
They're and it's reducing errors on the other end because they have easy access to the procedures. And so I think what we're seeing a number of different places that it's having that effect. We also, if in terms of learning and development, we've offered prompt engineering classes, and we offered them as optional
Hmm.
development opportunities for folks. And almost 25% of the organization decided to attend one of these. And so they're reporting back that they're now using it as part of their daily work. It's making
Hmm.
life easier for them. They're no longer afraid. You asked the question earlier. They're no longer afraid of it losing their jobs, and they're fine with telling people now, "Oh, I used Chat GPT or I used co-pilot chat to get these answers, and they're admitting that and sharing prompts with each other.
That's great because that's how we all learn, right? Sharing, collaborating.
Yeah.
Something Creighton's know a little about. And so, Dustin, you had mentioned that you repurposed an employee. Can you talk a little bit more about that story?
Yeah, I know you mentioned earlier, are people going to lose their jobs? I think everybody worries about that, not only with automation technologies, but also with AI. We don't like to think of it like that. We were able to move people off of tedious work, repetitive work, onto something that's more value add. And this is one of those instances where we were able to demonstrate that. And I think staff sees that, and that kind of calms people into thinking like, okay, my job's not going away, but I could certainly be moving on to something more important.
Right. Instead of checking every box was filled in on this mortgage application.
Yes.
And so, Emily, where are credit unions looking next for AI usage?
Yeah, definitely. So beyond chatbots, we see, institutions looking towards risk management, compliance, marketing, as Elevations mentioned with their mascot. I think that's a pretty cool use case and something pretty cool, pretty impactful.
Yeah, and so Dustin, is that and Maura, does that jive with you guys also?
Yeah, it jives with me. We also have a lot of applications in fraud prevention. There's a lot of information security tools that we use that have AI in the background that help us detect bad patterns. So yeah, it's used broadly throughout the organization.
Yeah, and that you made a point earlier too. So many credit unions didn't even realize they were using it because their vendors were using it
Mhm.
already. So what's next for Elevations? What's the next step?
Good question. We're already starting our strategic planning session for next year and figuring out what we're going to commit to. We've gotten a lot done this year. It's pretty surprising. But we're looking forward. We're looking at personalizing the member experience across all channels, whether that's a member walking into our branch or reaching out to us in our contact center or approaching us within our digital banking experience. We want to have a consistent next best conversation with them. We want to make sure that we're humanizing that digital experience to the degree that we can. And we've been evaluating AI technologies that can help us on that endeavor. So there's a lot of things that we're looking to do to evaluate personas, target people in different ways, understand what messages they're seeking, look at ways to anticipate their needs. So it's exciting times for us. And then, of course, we'll be doing continuous improvement on things like fraud prevention and the InfoSec tools that we have. There's always going to be bad guys coming after us, and we want to make sure that we're defending the best way we can. So we need to stay on top of technology, figure out how people are leveraging AI and utilize that to the best of our ability.
Yeah. And so I don't know which brave soul wants to take this question, but how should credit unions be approaching the governance part and the training part? What are the safety parameters? What are the guidelines that they must-haves? Emily, why don't you take it first?
I can take it. I think everything that Elevations has mentioned that they've done, creating the AI governance committee, establishing those acceptable use policies, even providing employee training, whether it's prompt engineering or just literacy and responsible use training. Those are all, great ways to approach governance and training and those safety parameters as well.
And
Anything
I
to
would
add?
add on to that a continuous reinforcement needs to happen. We can't just train once. I think you think it's easy enough to say what data classification is and teach people, but then reinforcing it all the time to make sure that keep it top of mind as the tools and technology just improve and become more accessible to them.
Yeah, we got to tell somebody something 7 times before it sticks, right? At least
Yes.
7 times, if they were paying attention the first time. And so you guys having gone through it at Elevations, do you have any like lessons learned, like, oh, that surprised us or whatever, as you've been going through the process?
Sure, I could speak to some of that. I'd say technology enthusiasts, when you're within your organization, can become AI influencers. So you should seek those people out within various departments because they're going to use AI to solve different problems specific to their area. And once they've solved those are kind of relatable solutions that people around them can understand. And they then become AI influencers. So they can help kind of build excitement around leveraging the new technology. So I would say a ground up approach is pretty darn good. And when you're teaching people how to fish through things like Maura's department, learning and development, leading from that point of view, you're setting them up for success. So I just emphasize that your people in the ranks are going to be the ones that help you elevate your use of AI.
Yeah. I think that partnership that we've created here at Elevations between our information technology team who would be deploying these kind of things and our learning and development team really affect the ultimate adoption of it. Employees need to feel confident in using the tools and then do it safely. And so we have a real partnership. I mean, Dustin and I talk all the time about what comes next on our adoption roadmap, and we've put some things out there. And as he said, we establish champions first. That technology enthusiast group can really be the difference between adoption and not. And they actually help with the providing a little bit more peer-to-peer training and helping people see the possibilities in the tools that have been given to them, the use cases within the departments. And so we're also telling a lot of stories. And I think that is a huge lesson learned for people is have a communication strategy alongside of it because the stories matter. They need to be able to see themselves in them. They need to see them regularly about what's happening, and it really just it connects people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love storytelling. Thank you for saying that.
Mhm.
Okay, so as we're wrapping it up here, I always allow my guests the final thoughts. I'm going to go around, do a little Family Squares or whatever that show was before I was born. And Maura, why don't you go first? So what would you like to leave our credit union executive audience with?
Well, I come from our people side, the people side of the team. So I really like to focus on the human side of AI. So the technology is fantastic, but what can humans do now that they can do even better than AI and with the help of AI? So that critical thinking and the service attitudes and those behaviors, we can really focus on those.
Awesome, awesome. Dustin, your turn.
Yeah, I would just say trust but verify. I mean, this AI stuff's moving fast, and it's really easy to get answers quickly and craft solutions quickly. But critical thinking is going to be more important than ever as this evolves. So let's not just trust everything for what it seems. Got to still have that critical thinking cap on.
Absolutely. I've busted a few people for that. Their research isn't, I can't find it anywhere. Oh, Emily, you're going to close us out.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
I just want to leave us with I don't think AI is going anywhere. It's not a fad. It's really going to become an infrastructural shift. You know, the credit unions that are going to be the ones, the front runners are really shifting to that, you know, from that tool think mindset to more of a platform think mindset. And, you know, the winning credit unions are going to be the ones that are using AI to empower their people and not replace them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.